If gymnastics were easy, they'd call it football. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Sports for Champions podcast. Today I'm lucky enough to be joined by Team GB's Megan Kealy. How are you today, Megan?
I'm not too bad, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. So crazy year for you. I know that you've just back from winning the gold in the teams event at the Worlds in tumbling. Can you tell us a little bit about how that was?
So we won the women's tumbling gold. That was a good experience to be part of that team. Being back out there again was a great experience, and then obviously winning the all-around team gold as well with all three disciplines and coming together. That was a really nice experience. It
was amazing performance by the Brits out there. I know some of our other athletes were involved and they all did amazingly. Can you tell me a little bit about how it was coming back from such a difficult World Games? I know you had some big trouble with injury there. How did it feel to get back out there and obviously do so well?
Yeah, it was a bit tough. I was really excited to get back out there, but knew that I wasn't at full fitness yet. And I knew that it would be a little bit of a struggle, but I just wanted to go out and give my best performance and help the team the best way possible. So, yeah, it was a bit of a struggle, but yeah, it went good.
Yeah, it definitely did go good. If you could take it right back, I know that you started at an incredibly early age even for gymnast. It was very early. Can you tell us about those sort of first forays into the gymnast world?
So I started in preschool gymnastics, just parent and toddler class, and then I moved on to artistic gymnastics, which is what you see in the Olympics. So the beam, bars, floor, and I just did that till I was 7, and then when I was 7 I got spotted by a tumbling coach, and the rest is history.
Yeah. So you started at so like a parent toddler sort of thing. So you'd have been maybe 2 or 3 years old.
Yeah. So I think 2, and then started proper gymnastics at 4.
That's amazing. So at 2 years old, obviously, you're probably not going to remember yourself, but did you have a particular sort of proclivity for that kind of thing? Did you find that you were athletic, or is there something that sort of pushed your parents to take you?
My brother actually did gymnastics, so I think my dad just wanted to get us both into it. It's good for coordination and everything, and it's a good sport to be a part of. So, yeah, he just wanted to put us in it, and we had lots of energy, and I was quite a strong child, like little child, so quite good body shape for gymnastics, I think, in general.
So they're just trying to tire you out, essentially.
Yeah, probably.
Nice. And then do you remember the first time that you sort of realised that you were really good at this, and it's something that you might want to kind of keep going on with?
I just loved gymnastics. I never thought I was very good. I had to work really hard. I wasn't naturally quite talented. I had to work really, really hard, and in the beginning it was definitely tougher for me. Like, I wasn't most naturally flexible or anything like that. But yeah, definitely the hard work has paid off. So
yeah, is it one of those things? We speak to a lot of athletes, and a lot of them tell us there's people perhaps in their age group who are more talented, or were sort of were ahead of them at that time. Is that the case with you?
I remember going to my first British and I was 9, and I didn't make a final, and I got really upset, and it's just because I wasn't the best at that time, and I just wanted to keep working really hard, and I just wanted to, I don't know, I really wanted to be on the national team and represent my country. So yeah, there was definitely a lot better people at the time, but I just loved it so much, I just wanted to continue.
Yeah, sometimes I think just loving something obviously is such a big benefit. It makes you want to work hard. At 9 years old, I think I was probably more concerned about climbing trees and maybe kicking a football about, but not really. What do you think it is that sort of drove you to have such big aspirations at such a young age?
I don't know. I just genuinely loved it, and I just wanted to do more and keep getting better. I just wanted to do bigger skills, and that only come the more I worked at it. So yeah, I just loved it.
You just loved it so much. No, fair enough. And then I think you started out artistic, and then you were 7 years old when you first tried tumbling. Do you remember those sort of first goes down the track and tumbling? I
actually remember that session. Yeah. When I was in artistic, in tumbling you do like lots of like flicks, which are back somersaults using your hands, and that's one of the first like back somersaults that you'll learn. And every time I tried to do it in artistic, I'd do it on my head every single time on the floor. And then the day I got to try tumbling, I come to the tumbling track and I got to try it on the bouncier surface, and yeah, it just worked. And
oh, so you landed it
yeah,
first
and
straight off.
I was just like, oh, I really want to do more of this, and yeah, that's kind of how I got into it.
That's awesome. Do you remember what the steepest learning curve was for you, sort of transitioning?
There's definitely been a few moments where it's got hard. When I grew, I broke my foot and my wrist in 1 year when I was 13.
Right, do you think that was down to a bit of a growth spurt?
Yeah, I think so. And just because of a high impact sport, I found that quite a difficult time. And then I actually ended up moving clubs when I was 17 as well, from my junior career into my senior career, and that was a big learning curve for me, and it was the push I think I needed, just a change of scenery and a change of coaches. So
do you remember the first time that you thought, I'm really going to take this professional and into your adult life?
Well, I made the national team when I was 12, and I wanted to make it to senior. I think in gymnastics, especially tumbling, it's not funded, especially as a junior, and your success only really gets shown when you become a senior. So I just really wanted to make it senior and just keep improving, really.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I know funding is such a difficult topic in tumbling. It doesn't get the funding that some of the other sports do. I'm not entirely sure why, because it's one of the best, most exciting forms of gymnastics out there. How's that been for you? Have you had to sort of juggle your training with other work and that kind of thing? And then perhaps how do you think Sports for Champions could help out with that?
So I actually have a job as well, as to make ends meet, but my parents are very helpful. But obviously gymnastics is not the cheapest of sports.
Of course.
Turning senior definitely helped with that. Competitions like Worlds started to be paid for, but as a junior that didn't happen, and it gets tough sometimes because we have to work, and that makes you absolutely exhausted, working a lot just to make ends meet. So stuff like Sports for Champions helps. It's giving back to a community that you were once a part of, and still being able to do the thing you love most. So
that's amazing. It must be so difficult to fit training around working full time. Hopefully Sports for Champions can help out with that. How much are you training at the moment? I mean, I know you've just had a few weeks off after the World Games, so probably not so much right now, but typically how often do you train?
I train 5 days a week.
Right, wow. So, how many hours?
I train about 3 hours at a time. So
right. I mean, the thought of fitting in 3 hours of training every day alongside work for me is just, I don't think I'll be able to do that. Is it normally in sort of on the mat kind of training, or are you in the gym? What kind of stuff are you doing? Yeah,
so mainly that's just in training on the track, to be 2-hour sessions, and then try and fit in fitness stuff extra on the side. So yeah, it's a bit hectic sometimes, but just got to make it work.
I can imagine. And then in terms of nutrition, how do you approach that? Do you always eat healthily?
I think it has to be a bit of a balance. Leading up to competition, I try and be really good and cut out the bad things, but everybody likes the bad things.
I'm sure we've all got a favourite cheat meal. What's yours?
Pizza.
Yeah.
Although it doesn't make me feel good at all every time I eat it. But
really?
Yeah, I enjoy that.
And do you think that the life of a professional athlete is tough compared to other professions? I mean, there's just in terms of your diet and your training alone, there's so many sacrifices there. And obviously, being a young woman yourself, there's probably quite a lot of things that you miss out on that you maybe like to do.
I think it's definitely tough, but it's a choice I made. So I wouldn't say I'd say it's hard because we train in the evenings a lot, and you miss out on that type of thing. You don't get to have those evenings to chill like someone who works a 9-to-5 job, and then they go home and they don't worry about it. We're constantly thinking about what we're doing and what could impact what we're doing. So any daily activities, can't do say for example at the moment a lot of people going ice skating and stuff like that. We can't do stuff like that just because it's just such a high risk that could affect everything else. So.
Oh, right, I see. Oh, I suppose, yeah, if you hurt your foot doing
Yeah.
something daft like ice skating, your coach probably won't be too
No, I
impressed.
don't think they'll be too impressed with me.
Wow. And then did you have a favourite sporting hero growing up? Maybe someone in tumbling that you looked up to?
Yeah, so my tumbling role model was Lucy Colbeck, and I looked up from her since I was little, since I was 10. So, yeah.
What was it about her?
I just loved the way that she tumbled. I just wanted to do everything just like her. Like, she was just so good, and she stood out because of her style, and I just wanted to be just like that. I just wanted people to look at me and be like, oh, I want to be good because of her. So
I'm sure they do. Did you ever get a chance to meet her?
yes, I got a chance to meet her, and actually on her final competition was the European Championships in 2018. I got to room with her, and I made an individual final with her, and we would come first and second, so she won and I come second to her, and that was just like the biggest thing for me. Like, I just come second to my role model. Like, I was so excited.
That's brilliant. Did she have any sort of wise words for you?
She actually kept me calm, and yeah, she was very supportive the whole time we were there. So yeah,
that's brilliant. How do you make practice fun?
I don't know. I'm quite like, I do silly things all the time. Like, I'm quite a clumsy person. Like,
really?
Yeah. So, and always just come out with the most randomest things. So my coaches are always keeping it fun, and like, obviously there's days when it gets tough and they know when to pull back and push. But yeah, they definitely keep it fun for me and keep it lighthearted.
And do you have a sort of favourite music that you listen to prior to competing? I know some people have to really hype themselves up, but then other people have to really calm themselves down. It can be it's about 50-50 split, really.
More like upbeat before I compete, but when I'm warming up and stuff, like, we just put music on in the back, and just keep it like lighthearted and going. But when I compete, I won't listen to music because I get distracted too easily.
No,
I can't listen to headphones. I tried one time and it went really wrong. So
can imagine it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so much to remember, and you have there's such fine margins between nailing a trick and landing flat on your face, I imagine.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about during the tumble, sort of where your head's at? Are you thinking about the next motion that your body's got to go, or is it almost like autopilot?
For me, I really have to think about what I'm doing. So like, I stand at the top and I like talk to myself. I'm like, oh, you got to do this, think of this, and then like throughout each skill, so we do 8 skills, I have to think about, like, for example, like when I see the floor, and yeah. So
oh, so it's that. So as you're flipping, you think, right, I've seen the floor, now tense this side,
yeah,
and then like,
and then I'm like, and then I count. So like, I do a double in the middle, and then have to count the amount of skills I do out. And I count in a certain way.
Is that
and
so
then
you
to
don't overshoot the mat completely or something?
I don't know, like, I used to do a skill with a twist at the beginning, and then I had like 4 skills out, but I would always count like 1, and then 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
And then one time I counted to 4, and I really threw myself off.
Right.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm very like visual when I tumble, and I just have to like talk myself through each bit of it.
And do you still get nervous before you go down the track, or are you over that sort of butterflies now?
No, I definitely still get nervous. I think once you lose the nerves, you lose the sport. I think nerves are a really good thing. It's just got to channel them in the right way. No, I definitely get really nervous, but I've got better. But sometimes I have a little cry. So yeah, especially the night before competition. If I'm really nervous, I actually, at the World Championships this year, had a little cry before team final, and
went well. Worked.
Yeah, it went well. So just needs to let out.
Is there anything in particular that you do to calm your butterflies?
I always like move my hands like this. Yeah, and always have to have someone like speaking to me, like being really positive, like overly positive. That helps calm me down. So.
How do you think being an athlete has made you a better person?
I think it's made me stay humble. So like, no matter what I do in life, it's grounded me well, I think.
That's really good. Do you think that it's sort of taught you resilience, and obviously you've been through some struggles and things like that?
I think it's taught me that no matter what you do in life, like, never give up, because there will be bad days and there will be, like, hard days, but as long as you keep trying your best, like, no matter what, it will pay off in the end. So
I know you're a long way off retirement, but is there one thing that you're really looking forward to doing that you're not allowed to do now?
I don't know.
No, that's good though. Yeah, that means you're living your best life now.
Yeah, try and live life the way I try and keep it two separate things. But yeah, no, I'm not too sure. Probably go on a nice long holiday. That would be really good.
And is there anything that you're looking forward to in the next coming year? I know it's another full calendar of competition. What stands out?
Definitely the home world in 2023. To make that team, that would be really exciting. I missed out in 2011 for Junior Worlds. When it come home, I didn't make the team. So I really would like to be on it this time.
Would that be your first major comp in front of a home crowd?
In front of a home crowd, yeah.
Wow, what do you think that would mean to you?
I think it would be pretty exciting, and it would give chance for, like, people who wanted to support you at, like, those type of events that can't afford to travel, the opportunity to do that, which would be really exciting. And just to be in front of a home crowd, that would be the icing on the cake, I think.
You mentioned your family earlier. Did they play a big part in your career?
Yeah, definitely. My parents are very supportive of what I've done. They've always left it in my court. Like, if I've had a bad day on something, they're always there to support me and pick me back up. But they always say it's my dream, it's not their dream. And if at any point I wanted to give it up, then they support me in that choice also. And they just want what's best for me.
That's really nice. And then in school, did you obviously started at such a young age, so it must have impacted school at different points. How did that all work out?
In school, I was quite a quiet child.
Right.
I didn't talk very much, and I kind of just got on with it. Like, school come first and gymnastics come second, which was quite the annoying thing, but I just had to balance it. I knew that because I really wanted to do gymnastics, I needed to work hard in school. I always made sure I got my homework done, whether that meant doing it in the car or staying up late. I always got it done, so I always was quite self-driven that way, because I just wanted to do gym more than I wanted to do school, so I had to work hard at school.
Yeah, you had to tick the box.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's really good advice. And finally, actually, that brings us on to our final question quite nicely. Do you have any advice for a young person maybe thinking of starting a career in sport, or maybe something specific to gymnastics?
Just work hard and follow your dreams. Like, anything is possible. You don't have to be the best at something to achieve or do well in it. You just have to keep working hard. So
I think that's perfect advice.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you for having me.
No, you're more than welcome. And thank you to everyone for joining us at home. It's been a great episode of the Sports for Champions podcast, and we'll see you next time for some more Sports for Champions fun. See ya.
Bye.
Hi guys, hope you enjoyed the podcast. If you did, be sure to leave us a like and a subscribe, and check out all our other videos for some more great interviews and content. Bye.